Every year, over 30,000 people die from gun-related deaths. The vast majority of these deaths are suicides. The majority of the remaining deaths are from inner-city gang and drug violence. The remaining is generalized violence and gun accidents. As tragic as these deaths are, we have 400 million guns and over 300 million people in this country. 30,000 is roughly 0.01%, not 1% and not 0.1%, but 0.01% of the population. That is exceedingly far from the epidemic that anti-gun politicians constantly claim.
Gun violence is a national health emergency in this country, and we need to treat it like that.
Is that the president talked about security in so many different ways, and he totally ignored the gun violence epidemic in our country.
I'm running for president because we must end the epidemic of gun violence in this country.
However, every year we spend millions of dollars and countless hours of time paying for, talking about, and implementing gun control laws which do and will do little to nothing to save the 30,000 lives that are lost every year. In 2000, Maryland spent $5 million on a bullet ID program. The program lasted 15 years and didn't solve a single crime, not a single one. And now California is trying to do the same thing. Many anti-gun politicians are in favor of a national gun buyback.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons?
I do believe that we need to do buyback.
So how would you deal with all the assault weapons that are already out there that people have?
What I would do is I would institute a national buyback program.
A national gun buyback program would on the low end cost the American people $3.2 billion and on the high end, $16 billion. Anti-gun politicians also want to force people to register their AR-15s and standard capacity magazines under the National Firearm Act.
The way to deal with those guns and those AR-15s and assault weapons that are on the street, are not on the street, that people own, is to do what we did with the National Firearms Act as it related to machine guns. You must register that weapon. You must register it.
To register each one of your guns and magazines under the National Firearm Act, it'll cost you $200 per gun per magazine. Even voluntary local gun buybacks are a waste of money. In 1974, Baltimore had a buyback program paying people $50 a gun for 3 months. They got 13,400 guns. The city spent $670,000 to buy broken and useless guns that weren't a danger to anyone in the first place. No one is selling good guns for $50 when you can take the same gun to a gun store if you're a criminal on the black market and get triple that amount. If you adjust that amount for inflation, that's $3.6 million that they spent. They're literally funding criminals' new gun purchases. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Instead of spending our financial resources or human capital and energy passing and implementing or enforcing useless gun control laws, we should be addressing the underlying mental health issues of suicides, the underlying socioeconomic issues of inner city violence, and the lack of firearm education among the masses that result in the accidental gun deaths. Doing this would actually save lives instead of purporting to save lives. The Defund Gun Control movement is about divesting our precious resources from useless and unconstitutional gun control laws and focusing these resources on addressing the underlying issues of suicide, inner city violence, and accidental gun deaths, and protecting the Second Amendment instead of forcing the American people to pay for the violation of their Second Amendment rights. I'm sure the YouTube algorithm is going to do a phenomenal job of suppressing this message. So please share this video with as many people as you can so we can beat the algorithm and get our two-way message out to the masses. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment and hit the bell and subscribe button. If you're looking for where to purchase your Defund Gun Control shirts, hats, and drinkware, there's a link in the description section of this video.